Hello everyone watching WWE Reloaded. Please subscribe, like, share, comment and ring the notification bell for all your WWE updates. 5 surprises for SmackDown. Legendary duo to lose return match after 14 months, Raw superstar to make an unexpected appearance. The build to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view has begun on SmackDown, and to nobody's surprise, it got off on the right foot. The direction on the blue brand seems to be exciting, and there is a high-stakes matchup this week. With a shocking ending to SmackDown last week, what could be in store tonight? Here are a few possible surprises that could take place. 5. The Usos return after a year to SmackDown, but how will it end? The Usos vs the Street Profits. The Usos and the Street Profits haven't crossed paths in a tag team feud. The Usos have been SmackDown superstars for almost the entirety of the last 5 years, but you can take one off it when considering the lengthy time away that Jimmy Uso had. It was at WrestleMania 36 when Jimmy suffered a serious injury, keeping him out for over a year. In that time, Uso stepped up and emerged as a Universal Championship challenger, headlining the Clash of Champions pay-per-view. It ended in brutality for G, and he eventually aligned with Roman Reigns, becoming his right-hand man and insurance policy in nearly every Universal title defense. Jimmy Uso returned, but he didn't fall into line as Reigns had hoped. Instead, he got a shirt saying nobody's BCH while trying to pursue his brother to reunite with him and start over as a tag team. It hasn't been as straightforward as he would have hoped. While Jimmy secured a match against the Street Profits alongside G, the latter wasn't happy. Roman Reigns whispered something in his ear, and that seems to be what will impact the match on SmackDown. The Usos are reuniting after 14 months, and in all likeliness, it will end in defeat. It might be a bit surprising, but Uso could end up ditching his brother as a direct order from the Universal Champion. 4. Will Alexa Bliss influence pour over to SmackDown? An odd segment. The women's tag team champions seem to get the most screen time in WWE because they defend the titles on both Raw and SmackDown. Since Natalya and Tamina won the titles, they've been jumping from brand to brand. But the more interesting story for them happens to be on Raw. Recently, Alexa Bliss hosted the two as her guests in the playground, and it was an eerie segment. Later that night, Bliss helped them win their match thanks to a distraction. The same was the case this week on Raw, except this time, she was nowhere to be seen. Flames simply shot out of the ring posts, indicating her presence. Since Natalya and Tamina will likely be appearing on SmackDown, it would be interesting and unexpected if Alexa Bliss' presence is seen there as well. While we're not big fans of superstars jumping from brand to brand without a reason, the more supernatural and surreal aspect of the storyline could warrant an exception. 3. Aleister Black and Big E have a match on SmackDown. Aleister Black made his presence known on SmackDown, making Big E fade to black. Aleister Black finally returned to SmackDown. He didn't make a single appearance since getting drafted to the blue brand, and it took half a year before his return vignettes began to air. The only thing we knew about his return is that it would be as a heel. Since he had turned heel before his hiatus, it made sense. However, the man he targeted on SmackDown came as a surprise. Apollo Crews had a pivotal defense of the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown against 3 former champions in Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Big E. While Big E seemed to be in a good position to regain the title, there was a twist. Black made his presence known and hit the Black Mass on Big E, allowing Crews to pin him and retain the Intercontinental title. There are a lot of questions as to why he was targeted, but we will find out soon. The match is expected to take place at Hell in a Cell, but it would be a surprise if WWE gave it away on free TV. With that said, free TV holds a lot more value for WWE, as pay-per-views don't necessarily generate $200 million a year. 2. King Nakamura gets dethroned on SmackDown. Shinsuke Nakamura getting the best kind of entrance on SmackDown. Shinsuke Nakamura vs. King Corbin on SmackDown has turned into a surprisingly enjoyable feud. The premise of it is simple. Nakamura possesses the crown that Corbin won at King of the Ring. It isn't necessarily a pay-per-view worthy match, as they've already faced off a few times now. While King Corbin holds the majority of the victories, Shinsuke Nakamura won a pivotal match last week. The crown is now in his possession and Corbin will do everything he can to regain it. Only unofficially is Nakamura the king, but it certainly suits him. What would be surprising is if WWE abruptly ended the rivalry and gave King Corbin back his crown. We won't be surprised to see him on the winning end of this fun rivalry, especially since he's a star who might be with the company longer than the Japanese superstar. Also, WWE's previous handling of Shinsuke Nakamura has left a lot to be desired, so that part wouldn't be surprising. But an abrupt end to the story would. 1. Seth Rollins enters the Universal title picture on SmackDown. Seth Rollins and Cesaro's feud on SmackDown has increased in intensity. The Universal title picture on SmackDown seems to be a bit confusing. While the speculation was that Jimmy Uso would challenge for the championship at Hell in a Cell, Cesaro was the first to appeal. He challenged Roman Reigns last week to a Universal Championship rematch at Hell in a Cell 2021, but Seth Rollins abruptly cut him off and launched another vicious assault. Rollins can't seem to get over the humiliation that Cesaro inflicted upon him recently, and with each passing week, the feud gets more intense. This rivalry might pour onto the Universal Championship, with the chance of the Hell in a Cell main event becoming a triple threat. Even last year, Seth Rollins challenged for the WWE Championship immediately after losing at WrestleMania 36. Even still, it would be a bit surprising to see him directly enter after being on the losing end for the last couple of months on SmackDown. Will he weasel his way into a title shot? Thank you for watching WWE Reloaded. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment and ring the notification bell for all your WWE updates.